gonna get started. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I appreciate you venturing into this seminar, even though, yes, it is about accounting. We all know it's not the most exciting of topics, right? It's one of those things we all need, but we don't want to talk about. So I'm gonna do my very best today to make this a little bit of fun. I know it sounds crazy, but we're gonna try and make it fun, but most importantly, educating for you guys so you walk out of here really feeling like you gained some knowledge. So who am I? My name is Lindsay Reed, and I apologize that things are being cut off, but I am with Access Accounting, and I am a pro-advisor with QuickBooks and Xero. And if you haven't heard of either one of those, don't worry, we'll go over that in a little bit. A little bit of personal information about me. This is my amazing little 13-year-old dog who is very much like a child to me. He's recently blind in November, but if you happen to stop by our office, chances are pretty good that you're going to see this little guy hanging around. So thought it would be good to introduce you to him. All right, so first thing I'm going to ask is, does anyone know what the benefits to an LLC would be?
Protecting your personal assets.
Very good, amazing. So that is the number one reason why we want you to become an LLC. Because if you have a home, if you have a car, if you have anything of substantial value, and something happens within your business, unfortunately a lawsuit, we don't like to think about it, but you really are protected. It also protects you from any debt that the business will acquire. There's a lot of really great things to forming as an LLC, especially here in Hawaii. Okay, a lot of other places on the mainland, it can be very, very costly to form as an LLC. Here in Hawaii, it's a very minimal fee of about $75, and you can be up and running and have that level of protection. It's definitely something that we recommend. Also, as you're setting up your LLC, if there's any questions that you have, sometimes the forms can be a little confusing. Is it a member? Am I a manager? I don't really know. Is there one? Is there two? I don't know. Ask questions. You know, there's tons of people that you can ask, even here on the island. Just call, say, hey, do you mind walking me through this? And I have no doubt that they would be more than happy to do that with you. All right, accounting software. So, who's heard of Xero, QuickBooks? Doesn't surprise me. I would be probably a little bit more surprised if people had not heard of the two. So what we're going to talk about today is some of the good softwares, some of the ones that maybe you want to take a look and be careful of. So we've got the good guys. Xero. A lot of you may not have heard of Xero. They're a new company. They're based out of New Zealand. They're 100% cloud-based, which means that they do not offer a desktop version. It's all go to a website, you can access it anywhere, makes it very, very easy. So they became a company in 2006. Now the good thing about Xero and how they differ a little bit from QuickBooks is they're 100% focused on that cloud-based software. So I will say that their cloud-based system versus QuickBooks is a little bit more robust. They have a little bit more features, and that's just because they've been in the game a little bit longer. Then you have QuickBooks. Now again, everyone knows QuickBooks, right? Everyone's heard of them, everyone's seeing the ads recently, especially, we are in tax season, and I don't want to think about it, but that April 15th deadline is going to come faster than we all want to realize. So, QuickBooks started with a desktop version, right? Everyone knows that. They started back in 1992. They are probably the oldest and longest accounting software that's been around. However, it wasn't until 2002 that they went into the online game, which is why they're still kind of playing a little catch up. On top of that, they purchased the online software as opposed to creating it themselves. So that creates a little bit of disconnect from the online version versus the desktop. If any of you have used it, sometimes you're like, why is this so different? I don't understand. I should be able to do the same thing. And that's why, because there are different programmers that were creating the software. Okay, so does anybody know how many businesses are registered in the US? To do business. 32.5 million businesses. So out of this, this next number is even more astonishing. Out of this 32.5 million, 29 million use QuickBooks. 29 million. So they really have the market. You know, they've got 80% of the market captured, and they, you know, people know them. It's whether you want to love or hate them, it is what it is. Yeah. So here are two softwares that I think most people have heard of. I think a lot of people have heard of FreshBooks. A lot of people have heard of Wave. These are softwares that are going to be free, going to be really easy to use. Any idea why maybe these are not the route we would want you to go?
Do they have are they less secure in terms of client data?
So that is the #1 issue. Yes, so they're a lot less secure, very good. They also, the #1 problem, while they're great for small businesses while businesses are growing, if you get to the point where you need a more robust accounting software, guess what? Your data stays with them. There's no way to export it and then import it into a data like Xero or QuickBooks. So then what ends up happening is you're either stuck starting from scratch, losing all your historical data, or you're having to then pay someone to recreate that in a software that you can utilize. So we really recommend, even though it's really tempting to go for these softwares, they're free, they're online, they're easy to use, it's really worth the initial investment to use something that's going to really benefit you long term. Okay, I know. I almost thought to myself, Dad, do I put this slide in here? I don't know. So taxes. The reason why it's in here, none of us want to talk about it. None of us want to think about it, but especially this time of year, it's on the forefront of our mind. When you're running a business, you don't have just income taxes that you have to worry about. Right? You've got payroll taxes, you've got this crazy thing here in Hawaii that we call general excise tax, and I don't even know what the heck that is, and why do I have to charge people for my services? So there's a lot of different elements that go into this, right? And we want to make sure that you guys are educated, that you are doing everything that you can to protect your business. So #1 is know your deadlines. This can be done with a very simple Google search. Again, if you know a CPA in your area or an accountant that you trust, that's something that if you call and they want to charge you for that, you just call me. That's ridiculous. Because you should call and say, hey, when is this deadline? And they should be able to give you that very easy. So making sure that you're aware of what your deadlines are, seek advice. Here is the #1 mistake that we see, especially here in Hawaii, is using that tax money and using it as operating expenses. Here, right? So you're collecting tax. You know that tax liability is coming maybe in 30 days. If you have to pay monthly, maybe it's not until 3 months, 6 months, even a year down the road before you're going to have to pay those tax liabilities. So what we find that people are doing is utilizing that money to help operate their business until they have to pay it. And I cannot stress enough how dangerous that is. It is the #1 way we see businesses go sideways. Because you always think, oh, I have plenty of time and I'll find the money. I'll get it somehow, somewhere. And then that deadline comes and you don't have it. So our #1 recommendation to prevent that from happening is to set up a separate bank account. When you know that you have those tax liabilities, just take it, depending on your business size, whether it needs to be weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever it is, you take that amount and you set it in that separate account. That will absolutely help mitigate any chance that you're going to use those funds for operating expenses. It really will protect you. It's such a simple thing to do. I highly, highly recommend it. Just a quick little fun fact. Everyone knows who Al Capone is, right? Right. Everyone, I think, probably assumed. Okay, Kiela here may not. She's still
not
a baby.
that young.
So does anyone know why he actually was sent to jail in 1982? Yeah, exactly. It was income tax evasion. Most people think, oh, it had to have been because they caught him on murders. Nope, they were actually able to get him on that. So be careful. Okay, here's the nitty gritty, right? This is probably why you guys came. What are the mistakes that we see people make? No accounting software. I cannot stress this enough. If you're starting a business, you want to make sure that your record keeping from day one is impeccable. You do not want to come up in 3 months, 6 months, and you're good. Okay, finally I'm gonna sit down and get this stuff together. And wait, no, I could have sworn I purchased this. And wait, how much was it? I promise, we always think we're gonna remember. Our memories are fantastic. We won't. Yes.
One quick question, what if you mostly just use like QuickBooks for invoicing and keeping track of your income, but then keep like your expenses sorted by like cost of goods, blah, 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 and just like an Excel spreadsheet?
So that's fine, and that's great that you at least have something. If you're able to put that into QuickBooks, it would be beneficial, but you're ahead of the game, and at least part of your accounting is in a software system. So if the day comes that you decide to start working with an accountant, they're not having to like start from scratch or have nothing. There's a little bit of data and something for them to go on. Great question, thank you. Okay, so accounting software, we want to make sure that we are utilizing the software no matter what we're using, but just make sure that you have something. We'll cut off there, but improper record keeping. This is where we see people get into trouble. And not even just in trouble, you know, this isn't like a scare tactic. We don't want to scare you and think, oh gosh, if you don't do things right, you're gonna get in trouble. But it's really, if you were not keeping the proper records, you're not able to utilize your financial records so that you can really make decisions for your business. Not only for your business, but also if you have purchases to make. I mean, the list is really endless of why it's super important to make sure that you're really keeping accurate records. All right, mismanagement of taxes, like I said, we just went over this. I'm not sure what more I can say about it. A lot of people get into trouble with their taxes, with IRS, especially when you come to businesses. It is something, if I could like help release like some of the pressure and just allow people to understand, come seek professional advice. We're here to help you, and there's zero judgment. And so we understand the situations and we want to help. So that goes into waiting too long, right? Everyone knows kind of when they need help. But a lot of times you have a little bit of judgment around that. This is your baby, right? This is your business, it's your baby, you've from the ground up. And a lot of times you are emotionally involved in that, and especially around your finances in a way that we never would be. So there's zero judgment. I like to use the analogy a lot of times. You never would hesitate to go into your doctor if you had something wrong or if you were feeling sick. You wouldn't wait 6 months or a year or 2 years to go in and talk to them and find out what's going on. Or you'd find out right away. And we're the same way. We've seen it all. So there's absolutely no judgment around anything. And the number one error that we see is people not seeking the advice of a professional, especially when they get to the point where they need it. You know, you started your business usually because you liked doing whatever it is your business is, whether you are a makeup artist or you like taking pictures or you're an event planner. I guarantee you there's probably not one single person besides myself sitting in this room who started their business because they like accounting. Right? It's an unfortunate side effect of having a business, but let the people who enjoy doing that do it so you can really focus on your business and focus on what's important. Okay, that brings us to, do I need an accountant? Now everyone should have a sheet in front of them, and I just kind of talk about in here, top 10 things. If you read these, ask yourself these questions. If you've answered no to more than 2 of them, it's probably a good idea just to seek some advice. Sit down, talk to someone, let them know what your situation is. Ask them if they can help. You know, these are things that you should not be doing as a business owner. You know, you really want to make sure and step away so that you can focus on your business. Okay, so now we've decided business is great, we're thriving, we're great, and now we need an accountant. What is that going to be like? What should I expect? This is probably the number one piece that I am the most passionate about, because I feel that as business owners, you're not getting the information that you need. And on top of that, when you ask for that information, the feedback that I'm getting is 9 times out of 10, you're still not getting the information. It's smoothed over, it's, oh, it's fine, don't worry, yeah, you don't need that. And I think that as business owners, you're being taken advantage of because you don't know the financial side of things. And I wanna clear that. I want to make sure that we empower our clients, make sure that you are fully aware of everything that is going on. Our goal is to free up your time so that you can go out and enjoy your life, spend more time with your family, spend more time in your business if you choose. You know, whatever it is that you miss, whatever you feel that you're like, oh, I wish I just had an extra 5 hours or 10 hours to do this, that's the goal. Right? We should be helping. We are a support team. We work together. We are a team. And so if you're feeling at any point like that's not happening, it's time to evaluate. Definitely time to evaluate. What are some other red flags to look for? Okay? All the good things. Everyone can talk about everything that's good and fantastic and wonderful. But unfortunately, we know the reality, and it's not always good. So how many people, just a quick poll, how many people in here have actually worked with an accountant before? Okay, substantial amount. How many actually had a really good experience with that? Well, good. That's really good. You guys should consider yourself very lucky. That's amazing. So a lot of times the feedback that we get is they just don't know what's happening, right? So it's one thing to do your taxes, but what we focus on is making sure that when you're looking at your financials, it's not just about understanding, but really looking at it and saying, what is the health of my business? What is happening? Am I doing good? Am I making money? Am I not making money? Okay, well, if I'm not making money, why am I not making money? How do I fix that? How do I course correct so that we can get this going in the other direction? If you ask for anything, I don't care if it's a, hey, I made a purchase last week and how much was it? Or I need my financial records, I haven't received anything. You should feel so confident and comfortable asking your accountant anything. This is your business. Your business. And so if you get any feedback that is not, yep, I'll have that with you within 24 hours or 48 hours, pay attention. Start asking questions. When it comes to non-CPA accountants, so what a non-CPA accountant is, that's what I am. I do everything up until income taxes, so we don't mess with income taxes. Does anyone know if there is a state or federal exam for non-CPA accountants? There's not. That's the scary thing. And so that's why it's my mission is to educate everyone, make sure that they know the right questions to ask when they start working with an accountant, make sure that you know the signs to pay attention to, because anyone can walk off the street and say that they understand this industry and that they know what they're doing. So my goal before retirement, which I won't tell you how many years that is, but my goal before retirement is to change that. There should be, at minimum, a state level test so that someone can say, yes, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. You know, so that's something to look out for as well. Okay, so what is next? So if anyone has QuickBooks, they're utilizing QuickBooks, knows anybody that has QuickBooks, or if you're like, I have it, I want to use it, I need to use it, but I don't even know where to start. We are starting QuickBooks training classes out at the SBDC in Kona starting next month. So we will have one every single month, and they will substantially get more in-depth. So we're going to start, yes?
Can you buy a QuickBooks version that isn't online? I don't think that I would necessarily need to be online for anything. I'm just a small business operation. But I wouldn't mind having QuickBooks. I keep my own books on Excel.
Right.
At this point, but QuickBooks, when I had it in my large office, was a lot easier to use.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. There's still the desktop version that they offer, and it is actually much more robust and has a lot more features than the online version does. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes.
Do you guys talk about like what can to what extent, or is that something the CPA does?
Nope, absolutely. So that's a very, very good question, because it is one of the issues that I feel that CPAs and accountants and bookkeepers, there's a gap that needs to be bridged. Usually CPAs don't handle too much in the day-to-day stuff, and vice versa. Your bookkeeper may not know too much about taxes. But that is absolutely something that you should be making sure that your accountant is advising you on. We do with all of our clients. We make sure that we monitor all of their expenses, and anything that is a deduction, we're capturing that to make sure to maximize that for them.
But a CPA should know that, right?
A CPA should know that. However, it depends on how you're giving them your information. So if you're just saying, hey, here's my expenses, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna take that. And if you're missing a deduction, if you don't have something categorized properly,
They just won't.
they won't. Right, right. So if you don't have someone doing like an audit, so we do an annual audit to make sure everything's categorized properly. If there's something that could be an asset or is, not categorized as a deduction, it should be, we'll grab that and change it. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Would you do just like consulting stuff? Cause I mostly do bookkeeping for like a business I'm working
Yeah.
for, so like I do mostly programming stuff there, but my boss is more engineering. And
Okay.
I'm like doing financing stuff,
Right.
so sort of figuring it out, and I have all my things spreadsheeted, but don't 100% know how to help them more.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. We do trainings. We do have clients where we do their monthly books and we do everything for them, but it runs the gamut. We have project clients. We have people that just come in like, hey, I just need you to get me cleaned up and up and running. So absolutely. Yes.
Do you have CPAs that you work with or refer to?
Yes, I have CPAs that I work very closely with, and it actually makes it very easy for our clients because at the end of the year, I send their CPA all of the information. He contacts me instead of bothering them, and then once everything's done, we just let them know.
Okay.
Any questions? Perfect. So if you're interested in coming to any one of the QuickBooks trainings, we will be posting all of the information on our social media pages. I'm not exactly sure what SBDC will be doing on their end as far as getting that out to the public. But if you want to follow us, we're Access Accounting Hawaii for both. All right, and I would like to leave with what is my personal favorite quote, and that is, what we fear doing most is usually what we most need to do. So just let that, I'm gonna leave you with that, and I hope that this is helpful. Please don't hesitate if you guys are staying around for the mixer, if you guys have any questions, if I can answer anything about QuickBooks. On the back of that form, if you're interested in coming in and talking to us, feel free to fill that out and we will get in touch with you. Yes?
On that QuickBooks audit,
Yes.
I have a business in Georgia still, so my bookkeeper keeps it up, and then my CPA goes online and actually does my taxes.
Correct.
So who do I ask to do an audit to make sure everything's correct?
So your bookkeeper should be doing that before it gets to your CPA.
And how does she know for sure everything's scheduled correctly?
Well, that is where, in my expertise, that's where the fault is. So this is it's a really good question because you have a bookkeeper and accountant, right? And so most people don't know the difference between the two. So a bookkeeper is really going to be more someone who's like a data entry, that type of, an accountant will then do the audits and will then be able to analyze your financial records for you and give a little bit more higher level of feedback for you. So if she is unsure about how to do that, then I would definitely talk to your CPA and say, hey, I feel like there's something missing. I feel like I'm not having an audit done.
Make sure that the CPA is doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes
Make sure
they,
things are categorized correctly.
yes, and sometimes they will do that audit. That's where you get into, start to charge a little bit more, right? And so,
He
but
charges a lot, so
they
I'll do it.
They really do, and that's really why people utilize us, because it helps minimize their tax bill at the end of the year, because literally their CPAs, CPAs, it's a dream to work with an accountant, because they get everything that's like 5 minutes to do someone's taxes. So, absolutely, it's a good thing to have. Any other questions? Yes?
Don't laugh at me when I say.
Oh, never.
So a CPA is an accountant also, but an accountant is
Correct. So CPA, they've actually done additional schooling and taken the license to file income taxes. You also may have heard an EA or an enrolled agent. That is very similar, just not quite as much schooling as a CPA.
Bookkeeper, accountant, CPA.
Yes, exactly. Yep. I know, it's very confusing, right? It's like, I know.
When you asked about the testing, I was trying to remember what an enrolled agent was. I was like, no.
Oh, there's something.
I was like, there's something.
Yeah, and so an enrolled agent is really actually, if you can find someone who's great, they're great kind of in between. Usually they're not going to be as costly as a CPA. They're going to have a little bit more knowledge than an accountant. So, you can find a happy medium. It's all about finding someone that you can work with. You have to, I always tell everyone, listen to your gut, right? Our guts never steer us wrong, ever. It's just we especially as women, we have to start to listen to them. And so when we're sitting with someone in your initial consultation and you're asking your questions and you're having your meeting and you're talking, pay attention to how you're feeling. Do you feel like, oh, this person's answering my questions and I understand, they're putting it in a way that I understand, and do you feel empowered, do you feel educated? All of these things you should be feeling after your initial consultation with any accountant. So our job, just to tack onto that, again, our job is to make your life easier, right? If you're having to contact your accountant or your bookkeeper and ask questions, or if they're contacting you, asking you really basic questions, red flags, right? You should be getting a monthly financial report with, hey, here are the things that I noticed, here's what to look for, or everything looks great, good job on sales last month. You want someone that has your back. Anything? No? So are we perfect? Yes. Oh, no, sorry. Perfect. Oh, yes.
Somebody's working for business, bookkeeper, do you do invoicing, or is that on you then?
So we actually, in our office, we do even more. We really do everything, and we tailor that especially because of this island, because we know how challenging it is to find employees. And so we do invoicing, but we also do all the way down to admin work. So we have clients where we have a cell phone, we answer the phone, so it appears as if they have staff in office full time. But a lot of times we know that they may only need someone an hour, or maybe 2 hours a day, or even a week, and they don't want to pay someone 8 hours a day to sit there. So we have kind of opened that additional side of our business. So really, when I say everything up until taxes, when it comes to business, we really cover the gamut. We help in every aspect. Yeah. Any other questions? All right, well, I appreciate everyone's time today. Please, we left a little hand sanitizer for everyone because, So, want everyone to be safe. If for some reason you didn't get one, or if you would like a different flavor, please feel free to, all about the scent, gotta smell good. Okay, well, we're gonna pass out the.
And I'll collect your little survey on your way out.
Perfect, and thank you guys again. I hope you've had a wonderful day, and I hope to see you around at the next